I received a message from a beautiful lady on Instagram, and she purchased a Daniella hat from, not from me, from another retailer. And when she received it was packaged in a plastic packaging bag, so it was rolled up like this, and of course being plastic it was also squashed in the process. So the brim, she sent me the photos and I actually had a tear in my eye. It was actually really sad. So the brim was all, the crown was all squashed in like this, looking very crumpled, basically like what this hat looks like now. And the brim, which is this part here, was all KO'd as well. So I've just unpacked and tried to squash it overnight, just to give you a clear indication of how this hat is looking pretty KO'd. You can see the crown here is being pushed in, so it can't actually come out. And also you can see here, I've tried to push that out, but it's stuck in that position. And the brim is also looking really sad, like it won't, it's a bit windy. The brim, yeah, it's effed basically. So this is going to give you a clear indication of how to turn your hat, looking like a squashed piece of pancake hat mess, into a beautiful hat that you can wear, that you can be proud of. So first of all, when I send off all of the Daniella hats, we get packed in one of these boxes here. So they are protected. So these boxes actually got custom made just for the Daniella hat. So I'm all about packaging, but also I do care about making sure that the hat is same condition when it left my office as to when it arrives to as well. So my pieces don't go in plastic bags, they go in a beautiful box. The first thing to keep in mind with straw is that, think of it like a piece of spaghetti. So straw, when it is dry, think of a spaghetti when it's dry, it will snap. And when you're working with a natural fibre, we just have to make sure that everything starts wet or a little bit damp. So just like that spaghetti stick, when it is actually like wet and soggy, it'll be really floppy. And so the same goes for the hats as well with a straw. Where after you've wet them and they become damp, they become a little bit more softer and they're pliable. So basically when it's like this and it's dry and effed, it will stay like this. So we have to basically wet the entire thing to make it damp. We set it, and when it dries, it'll dry in the shape that we've set it in. So I'll show you guys. I'm on the tap really gently, and I'm just going to run the water over the entire base of the brim, just to make sure that everything is damp as such. And I'm also going to wet the crown, so if you want to, you can go like this and dab it on there. Because this part here was quite effed, I'm just going to make sure that this all here is really wet as well. So it can be either cold or warm water. So we're going to wet the whole thing. So once that is wet, I'm just going to be putting my hand like right inside here, struggling a bit. And in here on opposite sides, I'm just going to be pulling them apart like that. So making sure your hands go right to the top of here, and just pulling that apart on opposite sides. I'm going to make my way around. It's really hard to do it that way, so I'm going to do it this way here. So just making my way around and pulling the hat out. Like that. And already you can see with the crown, I've pushed out that dent that was there. And because it's wet, the hat is going to move and be moulded into the shape that you're pushing it out into. If it's not moving, you need to wet it again. Maybe try some warm water just to soften the straw. If the top is crumpled, just put your hand underneath in here again and just push that out. But I don't want it like that, so I'm just going to push that back down there like that. And just make sure that's straight there like that. So now we're just going to place it onto a flat surface. I'm just pushing down here, so just going right up to the edge and just working my way around here. While it's wet, don't pick it up by the sides here because that will cause the sides to bend up, so just leave that flat. So again, what I'm going to do is grab some objects that have a flat surface and I'm just going to place that on the edges of the brim so that when it dries there's something flat that's on top of it. If it doesn't have any weight on it, just put something heavy on top. So just grab anything that's flat, a plate, or if you've got a flat object. I can't really think of any flat objects right now, but anyway, I'm just going to use a box. So placing these on the brim, and I'm making sure that I'm going right to the edge here and I'm covering the whole entire brim. These are really light, so I'll need to put something heavy in it to give it a bit of weight. And then I'll leave that to dry. So if you can, leave that out in the sun to dry. So make sure you put like some plastic or something over the ground so then that underneath of the hat doesn't get dirty. But I'll leave that there for a couple of hours for the sun to dry it, and then once you pick it up it should be all flat and not crusty and squashed. So this has been drying for a couple of hours now. I'm just going to remove all of the flat objects. And I always pick it up by the crown. And as you can see here, the brim is nice and straight now. And also the crown is not pushed in, it's completely flat as well. So that there is how you fix the Daniella hat.